Hi, Leslie.
Hi Rose, how are you?
Good, good. Um, yeah, so
Hi, Leslie.
I was talking to Leslie on WhatsApp. She wasn't able to attend the previous session at 2 p.m., but I've given her a quick recap. Um, yeah, but we were with you in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So I
basically, yes, Antonia?
go on, Rose. Go on. No, go on,
Oh,
go on.
so I was telling Leslie that what we covered in the afternoon session was just basically allowing all the other individuals to kind of share their findings. And now we've taken it to the next stage where we want to share, each individual needs to research and find 10 ideas they would consider to adopt into their business. Either improve on existing ideas they had already started with, or something totally new that you never thought of and kind of figured out in the couple of trainings we've had. The idea of thinking of
Yeah.
10, as Antonia said in the group, is that you never know that maybe your eighth idea would be the one. So thinking of about 10 of them, but then presenting two top ideas that you think you would consider. And this will guide you when it comes to also setting up your crowdfunding campaign, because you kind of now have a better idea of what are the reasons that you want to crowdfund for. It's a message that needs to be kind of depicted quite clearly, so that when it gets to the point you're launching your campaign, supporters truly understand what exactly your end goal is with the money that you're hoping to raise. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the update.
You're welcome.
I have a couple of ideas which, okay, they're not 10, but I'll still share with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just before you share, I think Rose with this one, with whoever comes on, we just get them to share. Because we
Yes.
have to hear on this
Yes.
one, yeah?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Okay.
Go on.
For me, sorry.
Go on. Rose will
Okay then. So, when I was doing my research, I wanted to understand how storytelling was done in the pre-colonial days, and I understood that it was in three ways, which was verbally, visually, or through written art forms. And verbally, I was able to understand it was how we would, okay, when I was younger, like we would sit with our grandparents and we went to a country and they would just tell us like stories, and you see that there was passing of information from like one generation to another verbally. And then there was also visually. Um, for the visual wise, I had actually done some previous research because I've worked as a heritage specialist before, and there were cultures such as the Bamileke guys in West Africa and Cameroon as well, and they would have like paintings and even drawings on like the walls of, let's say, their houses or even like sacred places like shrines where they would pray, and they would each have like significant meaning of particular events that took place within their communities. And when it came to written art forms, I understand there were places in Africa where there were which were dedicated to like literature, like as libraries. And a good example was like in Timbuktu we had the Sankore University, and also there was Jenne. And here they were mainly based on like Islam, but you will be able to find manuscripts on science and history, and also some writings on poetry and even autobiographies. So another thing I realized is that when it came to like the verbal sharing of stories, like we had specific like I'm gonna call them like professional historians who are believed to have like superior wisdom and training that enable them to remember and interpret the information for their community. So we had like specific people in our communities who would share these stories like as historians, and I think that's actually a good idea because when we transition into who we are as Africa Fictional Academy, we're also trying to tell the stories of our ancestors. And for them, what they will do is they will tell the stories there and they will share via, they will add some music and use some musical aspects of it so that it's just not like one boring story, but you will use music to even like have a lively audience and stuff. You can tell that through like oral narratives, yeah. So one idea that struck to me for us as Africa Fictional Academy is, yes, we are telling the story of our ancestors, as I've mentioned, and we would like to collaborate with other traditional artists and musicians, especially from the Agikuyu community, who have knowledge of the history of the Mau Mau. And they will actually, when we are sharing our episodes, we can partner with them and also have their music in our episodes as well. And this will be good for us because we are breaking the monotony in the oral narrative, as well as giving them a platform to share their art. And another thing that actually struck me, I think when guys were sharing their findings with regards to how when it comes to the leather tanning and everything, I can't remember who shared exactly. But one thing that hit me was, in as much as they're talking about the Mau Mau in the forest, I realized that they were human beings, and definitely there was a way they were trying to survive without being caught by the oppressors, by the British. So I was trying to figure out how they were trying to like, what sustainable forms of living, and how, let's say, like they were getting their food and how they were preserving their food, that is, and how they would even like, let's say, get their water without being like, without causing any attention to themselves. And for this, I understand that we can actually do some more research on that, and even in our stories or on our app, actually, we can include fun fact segments that talks about the indigenous tree species that were in the forest at that time when they were fighting. Because I understand right now there's been a lot of deforestation and everything going on. We've lost some tree species, but we can do some research again and figure out what tree species were there before. And also, yes, as I mentioned, like the traditional forms of food preservation and the indigenous food that they ate as well at that time. Because with colonization, I understand even the food we are eating right now is mostly based on what was stipulated by the commanding authority at that time. But I know that there was some indigenous food that people used to farm that was subsistence farming instead of cash crop farming. So I would like to also include that in my app and just have it as an informative segment. Yeah, it's an audio film experience. You are understanding the history of the Mau Mau and everything, but also you get to learn about, this is where the sustainability aspect comes in. You get to learn about the indigenous tree species, indigenous foods that us as Africans and as Kenyans we ate, and also what forms of food preservation was there before electricity and everything going on. And also for the last one, for the last idea I had was sound mapping. So basically sound mapping is just having sound an audio film of a particular landmark or even a location, like maybe a street. So for this, we can have sound maps like in places like where the fight took place, like in Mount Kenya. Like we can have like conversations, we can implement like some songs over there as well that's on the app. Yeah, I think those are my ideas, guys.
Really, really cool ideas. Really cool.
Thank you. I've had a short time coming up with this with the founders as well, but I'm gonna just streamline them in the course of the day, and then I will reshare them with you guys if that's okay.
That's cool. Really good ideas so far. Thank you. Who wants to go next?
Let me pick someone just to make the process a bit faster, because we'd love everyone to share. So I can say, Gloria, you're already unmuted. Maybe you can go next. Let me pick someone else. Maybe Faith. Faith, if you don't mind, maybe you can go next and share your ideas.
Hi guys.
Hi Faith.
So I have put my ideas on a board because sometimes I can be lousy at presenting. So if you see me looking away, it's on a board somewhere.
Oh, love to see that.
So I actually had two ideas when I was applying for this, and I still have the two ideas. It's just that they have been streamlined a little bit more from the notes I got from attending these amazing workshops. So I think I'm better at presenting them now. The original idea I had is still the Diaries of African Tales, and I will show you the reason right now. So why the diaries? I have a background in journalism and mass communication. I was practicing as a journalist in Radio Africa Group up until 2019. And I left to do photography, design, and print in my company, Kushoto, full time. Actually, it's not just Kushoto. We work as a team that's under Troyford Mines Consultancy. That's the organization that provides us with all the legal documents when we're doing consultancy work. But yeah, this is Kushoto. So at Kushoto, we've been, I started, one of our clients was the government through the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. They gave us some work and I was traveling with them, documenting how they were telling stories of, especially in arid and semi-arid areas. So they were locating women, youth, and elders and training them on how to prepare, especially in times of conflict. And I saw a gap. And the gap was that, especially in those meetings when we were sitting together, you rarely saw women and youth. It was just a group of old men sitting and making decisions in times of conflict for these youth and women who were not there. So that was messing with my head, especially in Marsabit and Elgeyo Marakwet. When we went there, I didn't see any women. And then when we went to Pokot, I realized that this time around, I went with ActionAid, and I realized that the women actually were running small businesses without knowing that they were in business. They were just preparing for drought and possible conflict. So the one was farming next to the lake, and she had farmed so much greens that she was supplying her community with them. And such stories, we just listen to them, and sometimes no one bothers to get the story past the lake. You just hear the story, the ActionAid takes what they want, and then the story dies there. And when you go there as a journalist, you are told how to tell this story. And that was bugging me. I wanted to show the process of how these women were identifying gaps and finding solutions. And this gave birth to the Diaries of African Tales. And I did a case study of Baringo, where I met a woman doing reforestation, the 27-year-old farming next to the lake. We went to Kisumu, where we met young men who were preparing for early warning, early response during conflict. And they had identified themselves that they were riding motorbikes, but without knowing, they were transporting violence across borders. So amongst themselves, they had created art and works that they will showcase what happens during conflict and how the two communities don't talk to each other for no good reason, you know. So they had created a play, and they will show the play, and beyond that ground, the play cannot be seen anywhere because no one can fund that. So what we're proposing through the Diaries of African Tales is for me and my team to be able to travel, even when we can't travel with the government and we can't travel with non-governmental organizations, we can travel as a team and make it fun to show how to show a fun way of how people already identify the problems in their communities and they're finding solutions. And I have so many such stories from more than 30 counties that we've been to with my team, but I can't share them because they belong to the donors who took me there. So I would love to get the independence of sharing the stories through our social platforms to start with, our YouTube channel and our social pages, and not just showing the very end result, showing the journey of how this woman started reforestation and how far she has come and the challenges she's gone through, and what's the lessons she has learned. And the reason we're calling ourselves diarists is that when we put this story online, it doesn't die, you know, it doesn't end with a generation, it's carried forward beyond our lifetimes. People get to see the story and they carry it forward. So that was the first story that I had, the first idea that I had. The second idea is called, I've just given it a name, the Book of Kadambi, because the name will change. I hope it changes, but yeah. So the Book of Kadambi was born in my compound back at home, basically because we grew up going to a community library. And when we went back years later to look for the library, it was no longer there. In this library, we used to sit and learn about sex and sexuality. I learned how to use a pad there in that. It was a library, but it was a proper resource center. But when we went back, the books were gone. It was just a dusty classroom. And the community is still suffering because most of the girls in my village still are getting married off. They have so many questions about, every time I take a drone home or I take a camera home, they have so many questions. And you wonder, how do I bring these children together for them to learn from one another, to learn from me, to learn from other people in my age group who benefited from this library that is long gone. And when my grandmother passed on, she had left a storage unit. So my friends and I are proposing, let's just put books here. We create this space to make it good enough for children to come back and gather. And maybe we can record videos of them dancing and sharing stories and also put the stories online. So I like to say that I have the gear, I just don't have the resources. I don't have the financial resources to push the change as quickly as I want to. So both of them are they're pretty much CSR projects that fall under my company. Every time we go for work, I work and I come back feeling like I should have done more for these communities. And that's why I wanted to start from my own community. That was my second proposal, to have a small resource center. And hopefully long term, we can move the resource center from my house to now a community area where everyone can access it, where the library used to be. And I was just talking to my sister and she was telling me, maybe you can add to your presentation that everyone who went through the library is doing a beautiful thing outside here, you know. It's in this library that we read the Boxcar Children. It was a series of books that we saw a new perspective, not just the village ideas that we had in Meru. You read about a train, you've never seen a train before, and you read about it, and now you want to see it. I would love to give the same ideas to these children in my community and expose them to the world, the same thing that was done for me. Yeah, so that's the two ideas I have. And I put them here so that I don't forget.
Well done. Amazing.
Bravo. That's
Awesome.
brilliant.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Faith.
Good presentation as well.
Yes, you were very articulate and really allowed us to really understand some of the vision and the ideas that you have. I believe even if someone didn't attend a previous session and didn't know what you do, they really have a better concept. And that's one of the things we hope that people are able to achieve and learn, because when it comes to pitching and sharing your idea, you really want to allow people to kind of see it through your eyes, and you've really allowed us to see that. So thank you so much, Faith, for sharing.
I actually had brought some things I had brought from the field in the areas we went to that I feel are just stuck with me in the house, and I would like for the world to see, you know, some of the things we collected through the organizations I worked with there. So
awesome. Thank you. That was amazing. Thank you so much. No pressure to everyone else. We'll pick the next person. Virginia, would you like to go next, please?
Hi, yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Remove video so that we can finally get to see each other.
Can you turn on your video?
Yeah, I would encourage when you're presenting to switch on your video. Awesome. Nice to see you.
So I'm Virginia. We work with leather and brass. So actually during this process, especially today, I learned that also, I don't know why, ignorantly probably, I thought brass was newer to the society than it really is. So when I found out that Akamba people used to barter trade, they'd give their mats to the Europeans and then they get brass. That's when I remembered actually in Lamu, there's some doors that are made from brass. So actually brass is a very old metal when it comes to the African society. So my ideas are, I'd say 7, but it's probably just 2 ideas that can be broken down into 7 different starting points, but let's just go through them. So like I'd said earlier, we aim to storytell using our products, right? So we name our jewelry, we name them after African landscapes, and then also for the bags, we name them after African people, either in history or in day-to-day, who inspire us. So what we do with that is we try to tell our African stories as we see it, and then also inspire our clients and everyone else to be like those people that we have named them after, as we also share the information or the education about our history. So the first idea was basically to just learn how to storytell better. So I had done a mini story on my Instagram. I don't know why I didn't even do this via my laptop, because then I'd be able to share screen. So let me just convert. So I don't know if you can see. So I did a short story on my Instagram. So this is my Instagram. So each post had a story. So this was a story about sorry, African men and how they were uprooted from our society and taken to Europe to build their systems and build their build their communities, while they were left, the ones who were left behind were left fatherless and probably also without their brothers, their sisters, their children, their fathers. And then so because of that rift, we find that there's a lot of issues, especially when it comes to African men, in growing their communities and being fathers and being present fathers, because they didn't have the history of not being able to be raised by your father around in a healthy manner. Definitely probably is what has caused all these things to be so common in the African and in people of African descent. So my first idea was probably a collaboration on how to better storytell, especially when I'm launching new designs. The second one is because I work with leather and brass, I've been thinking of doing home decor, but then include cement, just to make it a bit more different, because there are a lot of people working with wood and leather. So I would love to work with brass, leather, and cement. So that was the second idea, a home decor idea. Then the third one is what I had pitched for, which is fashion tech solutions. So we're looking, which is also what I have done my market viability research on. So we are looking to make fashion accessories that can connect and track your smart items. So if you have a smartphone, you have smart keys, you have a smart wallet, which are things that exist in the market. If you have a smartwatch, then they can connect to so this bag in particular can connect to those devices. And if you leave anything behind or it's lost, then you can be able to track it. So idea number 4. Idea number 4 is basically just extending that smart fashion into a smart home and office solution, where we intend to create the work pad, but make it a leather one, so that now it can connect to your phone, for instance, just to charge it. So that reduces waste that is created because of cables and charging cables. And also, if you forget your charger at home, which is something that we found out that is the number one thing that most people forget at home, then you can charge your phone wirelessly through the pad if your phone has the technology to accept wireless charging. So that is idea number 3.1. Idea number 5 was to start a podcast that basically highlights people of African and African descent who work towards creating or enhancing Pan-Africanism, people who are creating platforms to create opportunities for other Africans, especially creatives, and share step-by-step ways in how they have created these communities and gotten these achievements. So we'd love to have a podcast that brings these people together, discuss how they do these things, give other young upcoming creative steps and tools and networks for them to replicate the same thing. And then also, so at the end of the day, is just to spread awareness about Pan-Africanism, make sure that we're creating a future where creatives are seen as a sustainable source of income, and also just share this information and also give them access to tools that they have used before. And then number 5.
Sorry. Hi, Virginia.
Hi.
Okay, so you don't have to present your ideas are wonderful. Like I think we particularly like the smart fashion. I mean we all have that need where you're just leaving the house and then you lose your phone or you're looking for your phone or something. Yeah, I've been in design labs a couple of years back where this similar solution was actually being talked about, like creating a key holder that that you can actually call with your phone, right? Just in case you misplace your key. So smart fashion really works for us. So why I'm saying you don't need to present all your ideas. We actually asked you to think of 10 ideas. So you have ideas in your idea bank, but you present the best 2. What you think is the best 2.
Okay.
Yeah, just the best 2. Then
also in the interest of time.
Yeah.
But also it's good for you to be decisive.
Yeah,
which one you want to
about which one
to.
you want to
Okay, cool. I thought you said we come up with 10, so I was trying to come up to write down all the ideas that I've had down the line. So the smart fashion is definitely what I'm completely 100% looking into, because either way, at the end of the day, I'll still want to, whenever I'm launching it, I'll still want it to be a story about highlighting other things, like highlighting our African descent and the stories that will be named probably from the bag and whatever. But yes, the smart fashion is 100% what I was thinking of, because then that can boil down into so many things, into smart key holders, smart watches, smart wallets as well. So that is an idea that is my best idea. So if I was to pick one, I'd pick that.
Okay, cool. Really nice ideas. Really nice ideas.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Virginia. Yeah, when you said about leaving your charger at home, I'm like, I can definitely relate to that. So thanks. I'll go to the next person. I would like to select Brian. Brian, maybe you can quickly share with us the top 2 ideas that you had that you kind of finalized on. Brian, are you able to hear us?
Hello. Yeah. Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. So maybe you can proceed with sharing your top 2 ideas.
Okay. Let me just go to a place I can put my video on, and then I go on.
Okay. So maybe to just save on time, as Brian is preparing, we can have someone else share the idea. Nicole, if you don't mind, maybe you can go next and share your top 2 ideas.
I would actually prefer to go after Brian because I'm still trying to finalize on these. I thought we had to present all 10 of them and then only 2 will be chosen from that.
No. Well, we wanted you to think of 10, but share your top 2. So it's okay. We can give you more. You don't necessarily have to, but it would be great if you would. It would be nice if you would.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm wearing my face on my ring. I'm still in bed. Right. I hope I can be on video. Can you guys see me?
Yes. Brian, if you don't mind, let's have Nicole go first, and then we can have you go after, if that's okay.
Can you see me now?
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so the one idea that first of all, I like this exercise because the minute I got one idea, I just flowed into another and I was just in a flow and I'm just inspired to actually make all these new designs. But I would say the 2 main ones that I absolutely loved because I could get a variety of products from them are number harnesses. A client, when I called them, they suggested that I start making harnesses. And I love this idea because I could be using tubes from both cars and bikes, depending on the product design. There's like a variety of product designs that I have in mind, mainly 4. So I'd like to use bike tubes for the harness vest for women because again, those tubes are lighter than the car ones. And then I could use the car tubes harnesses vest for men so that they're bulkier. I could also make harness vests that have a bag attached to them, and then I'd market these for concert goers and people that go to these big festivals, or even people that go to clubs that you don't want to be carrying around a bag. You could just have like this fashionable harness and it has like a bag attached to it. So you can keep your money and your phone and your valuables there. And then I got harness for pets, specifically big dogs. And when I tapped into this idea, I immediately went into like accessories for pets, which is really broad because it can be leashes, dog collars, dog treat pouches, pet carriers. And then the second best idea that I like is I loved how when we were doing research on trends, it showed how like the past decade bags were getting bigger, and then towards the end of the decade, like in 2017, they started getting smaller. Like we started getting these mini micro bags, which are still trending now. So I'd like to make those mini micro bags. And I think that they were a new 2020 trend. When I was doing that research, I found that they made their way back as early as 2017. But what shocked me more was that small bags first appeared in the 1960s. And that made me laugh because my mom is always telling me there's nothing new under the sun. So trends, they come and then they go again. So I'd like to incorporate African inspiration is with bags instead of using studs. I'd like to be
Thank you. You're back, Rose. You can
Yes, I
carry on
am.
with the picking.
Sorry, haven't had electricity majority of the day, but I'm back. Thank you, Nicole, for sharing. I was able to capture a couple of things, so thank you so much. Brian, you can go next and share your top 2 ideas.
Janice is muted.
Brian, are you with us? Awesome.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you can
Connect.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
So for my ideas, I thought of, since I'm in the animation, world, I thought of making an African version of Marvel, where we have a story that includes our superheroes. Like I would really love to see, the Luanda Magere from the Luo community with someone like Wango Makeri from the Kikuyu community and the Oloibons from the Maasai community, come together in one, let's say, movie or in just one production and see what they can do together as people from the African community. And yeah, I would just love to see all these great people just come together, and the same way, we have Superman, coming together with what's the lady, like all the Marvel superheroes just come together, and they give us this blockbuster that is a world phenomenon. Like I would also love for us, our African, heroes from our cultures to also just come together and give us something. If that is an idea that would work, that is what I thought of. The next is an idea that we actually experimented in way back in high school, and this is to incorporate animation into the school curriculum. Like can we use animation to teach kids, the same way they'll memorize a line from SpongeBob, they can use, they could still memorize a line from, a biology book or a line from a physics book or something like that. So, but it's also tech, and I think we can fuse tech with the animation and create something for our school system. Yep. That's
Awesome.
idea number 2 idea. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
Thank you. I like the whole idea of kind of implementing the whole Marvel superhero idea, because it's relatable. Like they've seen it somewhere before, and now getting to kind of see it from our tribes within Kenya, that would be really cool to see. So thank you so much, Brian, for sharing. I'd like to select Cynthia Kimathi to go next. So Cynthia, kindly share with us your top 2 ideas.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And maybe just to prepare the next person, we'll have Gloria go next. I don't think Gloria has presented. Wait, who have I said? Yeah, Gloria. So Cynthia first. I can hear you. You can go ahead.
Okay. So the idea of sort of exploring more about what my business can do at the moment, I've been thinking about it for some time. So I feel like this is not very new to me. Like
Cynthia, do you mind turning on your camera?
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Hi. Yeah. So the idea is not very strange to me. So what I came up with, first of all, is how I need a workshop so that I have all the women literally weaving from the same space, which is going to like kind of take us to what I talked about in the morning, the pre-colonial times where women were literally doing it as a social activity. So I kind of want to do it that way. And then the other thing is, I felt like if we are doing it ourselves, that is learning how to make the weaving ourselves instead of buying, then we are able to make like a variety of products. Because what we're presenting right now to the client is sort of just one product, and it's not like they're asking for variety. So I felt like that would help as well. The other thing was having a physical shop for sale, because sometimes the clients want to feel the items, they want to look at them. So we felt like going that way also might help. That's basically what I came up with.
Cool. Nice one.
Thank you.
Nice one. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for sharing. So we'll have Gloria go next, and then Isaac will go after. So Gloria.
Gloria, you need to unmute your mic.
Okay. So I'm saying I missed the 2:00 session. So I literally came and I'm catching up on what's happening. And I'm saying we're supposed to present more ideas on our business. Just can you maybe expand, because I missed the 2:00 session. So I'm literally just catching up at the moment. I have ideas. I have a lot of ideas, but I want to know what exactly I should present on, and then I will present.
Okay, we put it in the WhatsApp group as well.
Okay.
So we'll give you some time.
I've seen we're supposed to come up with
Yeah.
maybe some clarification.
Okay, maybe at the end. Let's let
I've seen we're supposed to come up with 10 ideas.
So maybe just to recap real quick, Gloria, the idea was for you to go sit down and think of 10 ideas that you would consider to implement for your business. It could be either something you are thinking of and it's been refined by what we've been discussing, or something new that has come up as we continued with the sessions. And then from those 10 ideas, you pick your top 2 ideas to share. Okay.
I already have my 2 ideas.
Okay, great.
Okay, the first one will be we incorporate delivery services in our business, because the idea of us getting the product, the hair products from where they are, particularly no matter where in Nairobi they are, you can get them and we will deliver for you. That is one of our top businesses, because as we said, we are just the middleman. We are the middleman between the manufacturers and the clients. And we realized one of the biggest problems is we don't know the hair product. We don't know the hair, the braids that have been bought. And you may find that the braid that you want is in town or is in Kitengela. So we will come up with delivery services where we can pick it for you and just bring it back. An idea that I have learned in the session is coming up with a way that natural hair, especially Kenyan natural hair, we educate women, Kenyan women more on natural hair, because we know most of us have type 4C hair, but at the end of the day, the strands are very different from each other. Products that may work on me may not work on you. So what maybe our idea is to broaden the type 4C. It may be type 4C, but we broaden it so that everyone can get specifications on their particular type of hair, what product works for them, what product doesn't work for them. Because for example, some of the products like Cantu, they have amazing reviews out there, but when I use them on my hair, it does not work the same. It shrinks my hair. Yeah. So that was the idea that I came up with at this during this session, just to find a way to be more educative with type 4C here. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Gloria. I really like your idea of educating, because one thing I've come to realize, especially when it comes to knowledge of hair products, is that people don't know what works well for what type of hair. And to minimize the research process, having all that on one platform definitely would be a good idea. I can see how that would have helped me back in the day when I was really trying to figure out what would be good for my hair. So thank you so much for sharing those top ideas. Awesome. We'll have Isaac go next, and then after Isaac, let's have Joy go after.
Hey guys,
Hi.
can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Awesome. So my first idea was art for healing. Usually in our business, we deal with granting and art is something important in our business because we use to educate people so that they can have a better way of living their life. So my first idea was art for healing. And what I had an idea for this art for healing was that we can create art that can educate people of their culture, the African culture, the truth behind the African culture, and how they can be able to help them, what can I say, change their ways and come to have a clear view for morality. Yeah. So allow me to share my screen with you. Can I?
Rose, do you need to give him access?
Just 1 minute. Let me check settings. I don't think oh yeah. You should be able to share now.
All right. Thank you. So this is one of the projects that we've ever did in the past. It's called The Black Gods Must Be Crazy by Now, on which we were talking more about how we have been washed away from our religion and following the white man's religion in a blind way because we are shaming our past, we are shaming our culture. The problem is not adapting a new religion, however, it is shaming who we are, and that creates a system whereby we become less confident in ourselves as Africans, and we also portray ourselves as lesser people to compare to the rest of the other people, like other races. Yeah, so this was based on the Yoruba Orishas, for example. Yeah, and you can see the pages, yeah?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we published a book they called The Black Gods Must Be Crazy by Now. So we were educating people on their cultures and everything, who the gods were, what they were representing, what they helped the culture with. Yeah, so this is just one of the projects that we did, yeah? But the whole idea is we want to target the young adults between 22 and 36, because these are the people who are going to give birth to the next generation, yeah? And the goal for the healing is that we can be able to impact these people so that they can raise their children better, so that we can have an educated generation coming forth towards our, towards our lifestyle. Yeah. Now, another thing I can show you is the latest one that we're working on. See. Now this one is called Exploring Urban Structures. Yeah. Whereby we are looking into better ways in how we are going to make our towns. Now, like for example, you're going to see that right now they are trying to put some plants on walls, yeah, as if plants grows on walls, yeah, to make the town look beautiful. However, the thing is, we're eradicating our agriculture, we're eradicating our forests in pursuit for these things, yeah, which in the long run we're going to find that there'll be bad effects like global warming, there'll be bad effects like lack of land for people to grow crops and everything. So that's why we feel it is so important for us to address this issue. And one of the ways we're going to address this issue is through art for healing. Yeah. So we were looking for funds so that we can be able to push these artworks through exhibition and make it accessible to many people. Second, we can also create award-winning films of which that can be showcased so that people can have a clear vision on what that can be, how can I say, accessible to everyone so that everyone can have a clear vision for what it means to be Black, what it means for our culture, and also how we can advance forward as a generation and go a step higher than where we are. Now, one more thing to add on this is this, yeah? You have to notice that in this time that we are living, there is so much bad representation on what it means to be Black. Like, for example, the recent film, The Woman King, yeah? It was based upon some characters of whom they were championing slavery. King Gezo, actually, yeah? King Gezo actually was quoted saying, through slavery, Africans got their glory. Now the kingdom got the glory and wealth, yeah, through slavery. And that was because they were gaining some funds, and yeah. However, we are having that being purported as now with the Hollywood and everything, it's being purported as something that is great, something that we should look forward and be and aspire to be, which is a lie. And this has a bad effect on us as a generation. Yeah, so that's why we have decided with our team, we need to take action to educate people and also make sure that they can be able to learn from all this. Now, the second one is branding and morality, yeah? The reason why we are addressing this branding and morality because today you are going to find that most brands and brand marketing schemes are hugely based on sexuality and also shallow concepts. Yeah, like for example, we used to brand an artist. I won't say who, but she's big here in Kenya. Yeah, and we had a deal with DSTV. Yeah, we were pitching to DSTV. Yeah, for a brand partnership. Yeah. Now, the thing that I was told by her publicist is this while choosing the photos. Yeah? Make sure the photos look sexy. Make sure her bottoms can be seen visually. Yeah? And you're going to find that this kind of branding has a bad effect to us as Africa because now the children that we are raising are being exposed to these marketing schemes, yeah, these advertising schemes. They're being sponsored everywhere on billboards, everywhere, yeah. And this has a bad effect on us because we are going to find in future we are going to be lacking in morals, which is against what we are as Africans. Africans was based mostly on morality before anything else, actually, yeah. So we decided to decided to educate people, especially brand marketers, social media managers, everyone who is participating in the branding practice, for them to adapt better ways in which they can brand people, brand organizations without using morality as an anchor. Because you see, without morality, we are going to have a society that is plunging down, as we can already see nowadays. Yeah. Now, on that, finally, we were looking for funds whereby we can have brand expos in Sarit Center, and whereby we can put a stall there and have people come in and show them different ways of branding. We can also have small concept that we can run whereby we are creating campaigns for organizations which reflect what we want to say as Africans, and also what we want to say as a society that is pursuing morality. Yeah, and so also for that we will also create some interviews with professionals who are participating in branding from all different organizations, so that we can have a community of branding whereby we are more educated on the effects of these things, and we can also make better decisions. And at last, we can also create reels and everything like that, so that we can also showcase the same. Yeah. So those are my two ideas: art for healing and brand and morality. Thank you.
I love your storytelling.
Yeah.
I love your storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that you're very conscious of our identity and morality. And I like the way you fused, brought in morality into the discourse without necessarily being like putting it in anyone's face that, oh, this is morality. Because when it comes to issues of morality, we tend to then get into that headspace of whose morality over what morality and all of that, right? But again, we all understand that people should live and let live. So I like how you've done that. The ideas are nice. I particularly like your storytelling. I can see that you seem to have had some experience in terms of corporate experience in agency and advertising work, which is good. So yeah,
I have a comment. When you talk about art, is it specifically digital art?
No.
Because I can.
We already have a film that is on works, and also we had a previous film that based on the Black Gods. Yeah. Also, we are trying to come up with different ways whereby we can be able to make this art accessible in different formats. We can even have beads. We can even have what can I call it? Merchandising. Yeah. We can have merchandising basically, and also most importantly, we can have means whereby we how do I put it? We can spark conversations. You see, because the main agenda here is to have that conversation, make people be comfortable to think different with how they've been taught to think from the beginning. You see, yeah, because like you see, for example, in arts and everything, you're going to find that we've been taught that our medicine was witch doctor medicine. And the white man medicine, yeah, is the best medicine around here, yeah. And you're going to find through these people can have advantages whereby they can take advantage of us through these many ways, because they've branded themselves and they've put themselves in a category whereby everything theirs is good and everything ours is bad. And and the problem is we are so comfortable believing past was bad and that we were saved. Yeah. You see, we were saved from what was happening in the past, yeah, which is totally false. Yeah. So we need to be able to make people have this conversation, and only then when they only then if they can have that conversation, then we can stand a chance to change people's mindsets. Yeah.
Isaac, are you there? Okay.
Yeah.
So just quick one. I noticed is that Chango? Spell it, the god of thunder, the one that has hammer.
Yeah, Chango, yeah. So there's Chango, there's Obatala, there's Jeremiah. Yeah.
Sorry, I think your network is bad. You can turn off your video.
I can turn. All right, let me turn off my video in a few. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. So we have, like, for one, I can talk about Ogun. Ogun was the god of war and iron.
No. I know them. I'm just curious. You spelled it as Chango. That's C-H-E-G-O. Where is that god from?
Yeah, it's from Yoruba. The Yoruba tradition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because okay. I thought the spelling was maybe some thunder version in East Africa here, because it's yeah. Okay, fine, cool. Your work is good. Your work is good. Yeah.
Thank
you.
Let's
awesome. Thank you so much, Isaac. We don't have much time, so I would love to have Joy go next, and then Barbara can go after. Yes, I think those are the final two who are yet to present. So Joy?
Hello.
Hi, Nicole.
No, that's Joy.
Oh.
Hello, I can't hear anyone. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry I look so beat down, but we have to do this with the camera, so it's okay.
You can put it if you're more comfortable. It's fine.
No, no, okay. It's okay. It's okay. So the social anxiety comes in here again. I don't know, for someone who's a social bud, this is always hard. So first I'd want to start by saying thank you for having me here till this time. Every time I occupy spaces like this as a minority person in this country, it means a lot to me. So for that, thank you. So I have one idea. I don't have 10 ideas. I have this one idea that I really want to expand on, and it is what I have been doing for a very long time. So as I said before, I use African beads to do my activism. So my brand name is Unapologetic. I know I'm still yet to send the brand to the group. My brand is called Unapologetic, and it is to demystify a lot of things that we are told are not African. So one of my slogans is homosexuality is very African, because we have grown being taught in religion and in society that, as queer people, we have learned all these things from the Western side. But when you go back into, our history, you get to learn that actually homosexuality is very African. We have tribes like the Kikuyu, we have tribes like the Mijikenda that started practicing homosexuality a very long time ago. So with my business, I use affirming messages to demystify all these myths that have been put in the society for queer people, and that is how my brand has grown. So when I started off, I started with queer affirming messages, both for queer people and for allies, because that's what my business is for. So a lot of people always ask me who allies are. Allies are any people who support the community. This can be parents, this can be friends, colleagues, neighbors, anyone who supports the community. So first I started with, affirming messages, merchandise like bracelets. Then I started doing African print sweatpants, and I started putting, affirming messages for, queer people. And basically the thing that has made my business and my brand to grow to where it has right now is because I really adopt the African theme. A lot of people come to me and they tell me we would want things in, we'd want necklaces in like maybe brass and all these things. And I'm like, yeah, they're beautiful. I have seen them being sold, but it will take away from me what I'm trying to put out to the world, because I'm trying to show that us as a people, we are all people. I also incorporated, positive affirmations about also sexual abuse. I started a line called "My Vagina Is Not Your Playground," and rape culture. And I remember how controversial that was. That was really, really controversial. But it started the conversation. And this is what I love about my march. My march starts the conversation, In the African upbringing, we have been taught that, rape is something that you don't speak about as a woman or as a man or any other identity, And through my merchandise, I try to tell people that, it is African enough of you to talk about this thing. It is African enough of you to put yourself in a situation where this happened to you, because these are things that still happen in our society. We have interpartner rape, we have marriage rape, all these things. And because, it's like it's in this certain situation, you're just like, but as Africans, we do this, your husband can rape you and that's okay. So these are the kind of things that my brand does. I also started incorporating mental health because I have been dealing with mental health for a very long time. So I also have positive affirming merchandise that I put out for people who are dealing with mental illnesses. So basically that's what Unapologetic brand does. It is activism in the most African way possible with African products. So now my reason for applying for Thunder Fund is because I want to expand, because I have reached a point where I have clientele. Like I recently had someone who came up to me and they're like, I would want queer affirming products for my grandmother, because my grandmother is very queer affirming. And this is someone who's talking about a 90-year-old person. And these are things that bless my heart, because it shows how much my merchandise is impacting people. On Sunday, I had gone to a market and there's this Ghanaian human being who had come. And when they saw me, they were very excited, because they wanted to take a lot of merchandise for their friends, because they know they're not going to get this merchandise somewhere else. And, you know, having people appreciate the fact that there is affirming merchandise for you as a queer person, for you as a minority, for you as someone who has gone through sexual abuse, who's been through mental illness, the fact that you have something that you can relate with, that is what blesses my brand. So in expansion, I mean, I would want to have a physical shop, because it would make, you know, accessibility for me to clients very easy. And it would not just be, you know, you get me in events or you get me online, which sometimes is hard for people. So it would be, you have a physical place where you can come get your merchandise at any time. And also in that, it can help me also create employment for other people. It can just be 1 or 2 people, especially queer people, because as queer people, it's very hard to get employment in this country, especially if you present as a queer person. It does not matter how much you've read, it does not matter how much you know. The moment you just say, I am a queer person, that is it for you. And also in expansion, I want to also expand another project that, you know, with my business I do. So I usually have a monthly pads drive, where I give pads to, you know, women on the streets, and also female presenting minority people. And this is enabled by my business. So I usually take a certain percentage from my profits, and I give out pads once every month. This is a project that is very close to my heart, because there's a time we were so broke that we could not afford pads. So I had to sit on a bucket for some few hours before my mom, rest her soul, could go just get 50 bob, you know. And so pads is something very close to my heart. So this is also a project I would love to expand with the expansion of my business, because my biggest problem right now is resources. The market is there, the customers is there, but it's just resources. Yeah. I think that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Joy, for sharing that. I like how you also kind of in your business integrate giving back to the community and helping the community, especially recognizing some of the issues that we do have. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'd love to have Barbara go next. So Barbara, maybe you can share your top 2 ideas.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Barbara.
So my 2 ideas were, one is a collection, and I'm calling it Colors to the Tribe. So this would involve me creating patterns and designs with respect to different tribes in terms of the patterns that they use and the colors they use. For example, actually before we did the research that we've been doing since yesterday, I had some pieces that kind of matched like the Kikuyu tribe that I was talking about, and well, I'm not sure which tribe this was, but like pieces like these that kind of pay homage to different tribes.
Can you just show us, can you show them again?
This one, like a plate made of clay. And this is a kind of a plant pot. So it's hollow. So they don't have to be just that. They could be different pieces, vases. And then I was thinking I could use the designs that I make for these items and kind of transfer them into food safe products. For example, plates, because this is clay and it's not food safe. But if I was able to kind of transfer this pattern and have it printed, say, on a food safe, maybe clay plate or crockery, then I would be able to mass produce and sell to many more people. I feel like having items that kind of speak to you about your identity from your culture would be nice for everyone to have a sense of identity. And I could also do the same with kind of like wall hangings, because I do make like these ones from winnowing trays. This is a tray, and I was thinking in terms of celebrating like the African bride. So like different my idea of what the African bride was traditionally, how they looked, and maybe more for merchandising and decor for the home, and covers of books and stuff. My second idea was creating a series of coloring books. I think I would like to call them like Patterns of Kenya. And this would be more just different patterns for meditation and maybe for stress relief. And I was also thinking I could incorporate scenes from African or Kenyan folklore, because I feel like there's a lot of stories from, you know, our grandparents, our great grandparents about, you know, the folklore they used to tell us that have kind of been lost through the generations. So it would be nice to have them as part of the coloring books where you create a scene. And then I feel it would be a nice thing for maybe like parents and children to bond, or grandparents and kids to bond as they do the coloring and enjoy the art pieces. Yes, that's it for now.
Cool.
Thank you.
Great, that's really good. Thank you.
Awesome. So I think we have one more person. That's Wairimu Kagua. Maybe you can go next and share your top ideas. Hi Wairimu. I don't know if you're able to hear us. I hope everyone else can.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Wairimu, will you be able to share with us your top ideas? I guess not. It's okay. When she's ready, she can share them on the group or via email. So that's okay.
Okay.
So maybe I'll hand it over to you, Antonia.
Cool. So I think we can wrap up, Rose.
Yes.
That's it, right?
Yes, that's it. Maybe just to finalize on the way forward and to allow people to know more on what to expect. Antonia?
Rose?
Yes, can you hear me?
Rose, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you just now. It's like you've gone off.
Oh yeah, sorry. So I wanted you to maybe share with everyone else what to expect for the next couple of days before we conclude today's session.
Okay. So basically we'll announce the final 10 that we'll take through the brand, business definition, business case over the weekend. So we'll communicate tomorrow, but basically we'll need you from 9 to 6 p.m. on Saturday if you do make it to the final 10. And around lunchtime to 6 p.m. on Sunday, where we'll shoot the pitch videos. So we'll send you a detailed breakdown of what those days will be. For the final 10, we'll ask you to fill out some forms. We'll send you an Excel sheet of financial calculations of what it takes to build your idea, and you can fill that in before. Yeah, but we'll communicate basically. And if you don't make it to the final 10, I think you've got enough information. We'll start crowdfunding on the 5th of December as a group. So we'll also be communicating to you to join us in everyone will be crowdfunding together. And obviously you're welcome to the event. And yeah, the event will be from the 10th to the 12th. All this should also be in a program document that I believe we sent out earlier. But we can repost it again. Yeah. So we'll communicate tomorrow morning who are the final 10.
Yeah. And in case you're not picked for the final 10, I do believe that the sessions we've had the past week and this week have been quite valuable. And I can also see from how you present and how you share your ideas, there's some things you came across that you didn't even think about. And as I've also shared before, crowdfunding is not limited to the 10, it's open for every single person. And I am happy to have one-on-one sessions and meetings just to guide you further in case there's certain crowdfunding concepts that you didn't understand. So please do feel free to reach out. I am so happy and willing to help you guys. I feel like I've come to know you on a personal level because of the many sessions we've had. So please reach out in case you want to learn more. So yeah, so we will communicate tomorrow, and then from there we will share the way forward. But I would like to thank each and every one of you for attending, for participating, for sharing, and being involved and doing the assignments. We are appreciative of you being able to do that. So thank you so much. Again, we'll communicate tomorrow, and please do have a lovely evening. Reach out with any questions, either WhatsApp, email at any time that you'd want to. So bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.